Hey everyone, welcome to All About the Joy. This is Culture and Consequence with Carmen and Andrea. I think one of the things that I'm starting to realize is that I want this to be more about us just having a conversation as opposed to like, I just did all this research and I'm kind of like, okay, I don't research before I get on the phone with you. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's funny. I did too, because, and of course I'd never do that before a phone call, but I do think that it's important if we are going to talk about things and put them out there that we do need to be factual. It's different when it's just me and you shooting the shit, right?
Right.
You know, if I stretch the truth on something or whatever, it's not like you're going to come back and be like, listen here. I mean, you might, but
yes, I am. Like if I disagree with you.
Probably something that you agree with, you're like, yeah, fuck that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do think that there is some importance to that, but also I don't want it to be like we're trying to teach a class necessarily, you know?
Right. Unless I was being paid to, then I'd be totally fine with that. But no, I mean, I think that's kind of where this is falling. And yet I told you we've gotten a lot of feedback. You know what? I should probably start with see, this is what I mean. Like even doing that, like welcome to All About the Joy. I'm Carmen, your host. This is Culture and Consequence. Like I have to come up with a better way to kind of just, I think I'm going to do like a stagnant part. You know what I mean? Like just insert it in. Cause I think it takes away from my flavor with you and stuff. So well, okay, that sounded stupid, but you know what I mean? So, so I wanted to talk about the Jimmy Kimmel thing for a minute.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many people think I work for Jimmy Kimmel. Which is so funny. Just like I have a hat and a t-shirt and people like, do you work for Jimmy Kimmel? Here's the thing. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. That's what I always answer. Right? But I really want people to go and watch the episode that Sinclair, who owns all multimedia crap, and the Trump administration are saying was like the be all end all of what he said about Charlie Kirk. And that's why they took him off the air. I don't normally watch Jimmy Kimmel, not because I'm working for him and see him all day. So just kidding. Like I do not work for Jimmy Kimmel.
I see it the first time.
I see it the first time, right? Yeah, I do not work for Jimmy Kimmel. But it's like I'm winking now. I'm just kidding. I like confusing the fuck out of people. But here's the point. He didn't say anything that was not said by other people or pretty much on point, basically. But what was amazingly profound to me was what he said about Donald Trump. Like how much he is. And then I went back and watched like 4 or 5 other episodes. Like, and I was just a monologue and I was like, oh, this is what this is about, is this thin-skinned man who can't take responsibility for his own bullshittery. I mean, the line that Jimmy Kimmel says, and I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, so your really great friend has passed away, and they, you know, point the camera to Donald Trump and ask about him. And he starts talking about a ballroom.
Yeah.
So look it for people who don't get it.
He cares about no one but himself. And like why that is so hard for people to see is an absolute mystery to me. But here we are.
No, you're not talking about Jimmy Kimmel, you're talking about Trump.
I am, yes.
Yeah. And he's just, I mean, he eviscerates him, you know, Jimmy Kimmel eviscerates him over and over and over again.
Right.
But it's almost like, I remember watching Johnny Carson with my mother and I was so young, but that's what they do. Like, and the more you resist it, the more they're going to do it. Like if he just brushed it off and like I know he's not capable. I know Donald Trump is not capable of being like the bigger person and being like, these are fucking comedians.
Right.
But, I don't know. Impressive.
They, meaning the administration, the regime, are seeing what they can get away with. Mm-hmm. And turns out, surprise, surprise, they can get away with a lot. Because turns out, surprise, surprise, very few people are actually brave and courageous and have a backbone and even have integrity.
Okay, but is it brave and courageous to care about our Constitution? And is that, I guess that's what it is.
Apparently. Right? I mean, and I'm talking business people, right? I'm talking.
Okay, but isn't that about money? That's not about bravery.
I'm talking about, Bob Iger. Hi. I'm sure you're watching.
Disney.
You know what I mean? Or other business people. I'm talking about
Tim Cook, Apple.
All of the tech guys. I mean, whatever, those guys. But, their interests are solely economic. So caring about the Constitution, caring about democracy, caring about the economic state, frankly, of the entire planet, is a bridge too far, as long as you get yours today.
And I think it's even evident with the whole Epstein file debacle. I mean, listening to Kash Patel, who seriously, they're just all like, I have never said this.
Clown car. Just
Yeah. Andrea, you know me. I'm pretty humble with my talents. You know what I mean? Except when it comes to like dancing, which I haven't done in so many years. But like, I'm humble.
Right.
But I am telling you right now,
in which case we should all be running the government, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I could run the FBI. I could run the Pentagon. And it's not even a lie.
Give me the Department of Education. I mean, if imposter syndrome should be absolutely a thing of the past. Not a single person on this planet should be looking at anything and thinking like, I don't know if
I can't do it. Right. No. Like Kash Patel is so incompetent. I mean, but you know what? Look at anyways, I don't want to go there, but I just shook it at that whole hearing, which I watched way too much of because I was like this. What? I was like the whole time.
I don't know. I go in phases where I'm like, all right, I need to see some of this just to like see it with my own eyes. And then like, I'm in a phase right now where like, I can't even,
You are not feeling good, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's on the way out, but
yeah. All right.
What I've been doing recently, what I did actually after our last call. So over the weekend, I watched a documentary on Winston Churchill. Problematic dude for sure. Like, let's just put that out there, but was a leader, had some integrity on some things. Another one on Roosevelt, FDR.
Wow.
And
I haven't seen that one.
I've been watching what I'm going to freely admit is a very subpar documentary on the Roman Empire and sort of the fall of the Republic and the rise of the empire. And like, I just felt like I need to like see some leadership models. I need to see what happens when Republic falls and what comes after that. Like, I just needed to have something. So that's what I'm watching instead of the hearings and whatnot.
And what did you learn?
I have learned that there are very few brave people in our midst right now. There are some. And I wrote down the name of one woman that I want to highlight since we have a platform here. This woman's name is Karina Villa. She's an Illinois state rep. I saw this a few days ago. She literally ran through her district in her tacones, in her heels, with her jacket on and her pants, chasing ice out of like a residential.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about now.
Yelling at people to stay in their houses. You could see the fear and the emotion in her face when she was talking. She had her cameraman, hype man, following her. And I was like, this is what the people want. Do not talk to me about tax subsidies. Chase ICE out of our goddamn neighborhoods in your heels, bitch.
I'm still waiting for ICE members to start realizing what they're doing is wrong. I know I'm asking way too much. You know what I mean? Like, my dream is that, not my dream, but I actually think what's going to make a change is when actual people start realizing what's happening and stop doing what they're doing to aid and abet this situation. You know what I mean? So that would be ICE officers but yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I am saddened by the lack of courage. There's no doubt about it. And I hope that Jimmy Kimmel does not apologize. And like, the Sinclair group is asking, he has to apologize. He has to give the Charlie Kirk family money. You know what I mean? To do something. Yeah, I read the whole letter. I was like, what is it? And then at the end, they're like, and we're still not going to put him back on air. I'm like, oh, man. Okay, sure.
We could have a podcast tomorrow and blow all of these mofos out of the water.
You know what? If we're at the point where we're upset with comedians, and you know,
we are at that point, right?
We are at that point.
We are at that point, and I think, you know, I'm not one who's like, and this is a good thing because, you know, but a lot of people like Jimmy Kimmel. Right? A lot of people watch Jimmy Kimmel. That is the kind of thing that could potentially wake at least a few people up.
Wake people up. Well, I mean, with Stephen Colbert being taken off the air as well, but he has to the end of his contract, that started it. But yeah, I mean, I think we're just in a really weird space. And I can't believe we're not all inflamed. I just feel like I'm exhausted, you know, and it's just every day. And I'm still wondering where the fuck the Epstein files are. I'm just saying, where are the Epstein files? Like, seriously, I don't even care about the Epstein files. But Kash Patel, straight-faced, in that meeting was like, there's nothing in theEpstein files. Nothing at all. Well, if there's nothing, then just, what's the deal? Then just... like, they're not doing themselves any favors.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
But like this, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, just put them out there, and whoever is in there, take them down. And like, I literally don't care who it is.
Yeah. So we got feedback, which was nice. Some of it was not nice. Somebody was like, "Please stop swearing." What the fuck?
I can't.
I was like, you don't have to watch the show. Like,
like, this is us. Like, this is literally the way we talk to each other.
And if you tell someone to not swear who casually swears on a regular basis, all I'm going to do is swear more. Like, I don't even know. Right. And do you not know me? Is this your first? Is this your first time?
That people who swear are more intelligent than people who aren't.
This is actually fact. So, it is.
That is a fact. I'm not find it for you, but
yeah, I'll find it. I'll put it down.
Not that it's a competition, but
not that it's a yes, it is. Okay, so the other feedback was people wanted to know, and when I say people, I mean Rick Costa. Rick was like, "Are you guys going to really talk about the differences between Republican and Democrats, and you know, to get more into it?" So, but first, I wanted to start with talking about what liberalism and conservatism is. And those are ideologies. People get confused. Those are ideologies. And then I was like, maybe people don't know what ideology means.
Let's get into it, girl. I was a poli-sci major for 2 years. House.
Okay, well, I'm going to read the definition and then I'll give an example after you say, okay, an ideology is a system of beliefs and values that shape how someone sees the world. That's like the easiest way to say it. And I was going to say this example because I like things to be super easy. So the way I think about it is pretend we're talking about phones. iPhones are one ideology. Android phones are another ideology, right?
Yes, that's a very, very good example.
Thank you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I think that's a great way to say it. And, you know, and they form the basis for political parties, their economic and political policies, right? That's right. You know, they're based on different ideologies.
Right. The way you see the world. Right. They're based on
the way you see the world, but also I will call it thought leadership, right? Academic writing. So, for example, Karl Marx, right? Marxism. He wrote Das Kapital, which was a criticism of capitalism and the basis for communism, which turned out to be the basis for, the Russian Revolution leading to
you're
the
getting way
Soviets.
too deep for people here.
Yeah, etc. But I'm just saying, like, I know.
Because seriously, all people heard was, you didn't even make this link, but they're going to be socialism, liberalism. That's it.
Well, I mean, but it is important though for people to understand it's not just values and beliefs. It's actual philosophy written by academics and, white guys.
Right.
It's
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Factual.
I mean, so, and that is the basis for the policies that the parties then put out into the world.
So the parties, let's just use Republican and Democrat. Yes, there are others, but let's just use the two-party system at the moment. Yeah. Those are labels. So those are actual, like, that's kind of going back to my phone analogy. I get a little deeper into this. That's like the apps, Instagram, Spotify, whatever. I'm not promoting any of these. I'm just saying you can have any of these on either phone. So you can be a Democrat and be a conservative. You can be a Republican and be liberal. Those things cross over. So you can do those things. It's just like having those apps. You can use them on an Android phone or an Apple phone. So the apps would be the labels of like the Democrat, Republican. So just to give people a different way to look at it. Not to go too deep into the app thing and the phone thing. Right. That's the end of it. But
well, and like I don't want to get too academic, but
she's going to get academic and I'll cover. Go ahead.
Right. There's the idea of the political spectrum, right? And so on the right, you have, in general, conservatism, and on the left, you have liberalism. And the farther you go out to the sides, the more extreme it gets. So on the right, you have, reactionary, and on the left, you have radical. And then, in my opinion, they meet down at the bottom in a full circle of authoritarianism, where you've got fascism and, all of that.
So forget the bottom thing at the moment, because I know that went too hard for people. Right? I believe that most people, this is before Trump. So just understand this is everything we're talking about is before Trumpism, because Trumpism is a whole other, that's at that bottom area.
That's is on the bottom.
That's at the bottom.
In all kinds of ways.
On that spectrum, which is great, like these are the extremes. And some people would say, I would say a lot of crazy Christian people are on the far, far right. You know what I mean? Like they're teetering on crazy. Not all Christians. You know who I'm talking about. All right. And then on the left, we'd be like, I don't know, the Bernie Sanders, what would be an extreme leftist group? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I don't even think I would put Bernie Sanders out there way on the end, but like,
really? Okay. I hate Bernie Sanders.
I know. I'm not a huge fan, but I wouldn't put him on the left. I don't know, like, some of the like really radical, like climate justice or something like that.
Well, PETA, like when they were, when they were doing the blood thing and stuff, they've calmed down since then. But while we're here, let me just say, I did a TikTok yesterday, and Antifa is not a group. Like, I know that Trump has put on his TikTok or whatever he's doing, whatever his social media thing is. He's made Antifa. Andrea, I know you haven't heard this yet.
No, I have.
Oh, you have? He's made Antifa a terrorist group. Like, it's not a group. It means anti-fascist. It's not a group. And then they're like, it's decentralized. It might be
an ideology.
Yeah, exactly. It might be an ideology. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's why it's also getting confused, because they are doing everything in their power to make the American people think that they're doing something so important and so valid, like doing that, because it sounds like a good buzzword. But like I said on my TikTok, it's like, I'm anti-bullying. You wouldn't make the group a terrorist group because I'm anti-bullying. It's the same concept. It's a thing that we believe. It's not, by the way, if you're an American, you should be anti-fascist. You should be
Everybody should be anti-fascist.
Everybody should be.
Fascism is not a good thing for most people.
It's so weird because he's having, I don't think if somebody asked Trump if he knew what fascism was, that he'd be able to answer it.
Oh, no.
I don't think I'm being mean there. I'm sorry. I think I'm being pretty honest.
Statement. Yeah.
So him using that as a buzzword, again, where are the Epstein files? I just want to throw that out there because that would have been a great tweet or whatever he was doing if he had said, by the way, here are the Epstein files, you know what I mean? As opposed to making up all this crap.
Right.
All right, back to liberal and conservative ideologies, but let's get into what they believe, right? Kind of, sort of. Do you want to take the liberal column? Because I know it makes you sick to even think of the conservatives.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be general, so you can fill in some specifics. But you know, on the left liberal side is progressivism, right? Advancing the public good through government action a lot of times. So I believe in more government help, in particular for vulnerable groups. It's really
but let's take it one at a time. I don't want to go down. I want to like you do that. Like, so liberals believe in the government having more involvement with the people and helping people who are vulnerable, falling through but also just making sure we have what we need. Right.
Right.
I mean,
so we're talking about healthcare, education, you know, public goods, libraries, roads, you know,
that's a good one. That's
those kinds of things.
We believe that when we pay taxes and we give it to the government uses those taxes to help the greater good of all the people. When you hear it that way, I don't even know how conservatives would not agree to that if you want to take care of your neighbor, right? But let me tell you what conservatives believe. Conservatives believe actually limited government, and they believe in personal responsibility. They believe in that whole pull them up by your bootstraps, do it on your own. Government cannot be involved in your stuff and dealing and giving you money or helping you. It's a very weird, negative idea.
Lower taxes, less regulation, also like very, very business friendly.
But here's the problem. So let's talk about the problem with these things, because when it comes to businesses, they give tax breaks to these big corporations, but we're still paying taxes because we have to. It's not like if you're a conservative, you're not going to pay taxes.
Right.
You're still going to pay taxes because they want their money, but they're taking the money, and instead of giving it to people who are falling through the cracks or whatever, they give it to corporations for tax breaks and incentives.
Yes. The idea, I believe, is...
I was just going to say, let's give them the idea.
If...
Your favorite trickle-down theory.
Right. If you have more money in your pocket as a individual or as a business owner, then more money will flow through the economy and it will trickle down to those who have less. That is not true.
Well, here's the thing. In theory, it sounds nice. It means that people who have a lot of money would not keep it for themselves and would instead share it. I mean, that, like, if we look at it at the positive way, that's the idea. I have so much money that I'm going to turn around and I want to share it with everyone, right? Let's give it a positive spin. That would be the trickle-down theory. I'm going to create jobs. I'm going to create other opportunities. I'm going to help other people.
Shop and buy things. Yeah.
Right. Shop and buy.
The economy. Yeah.
But that's not what happens ever, because you always hear about these golden parachutes. You always hear about these buybacks, right? These share buybacks or whatever. So what ends up happening is all these rich people take all this money and they don't create new jobs.
They hoard it.
They hoard it and they keep it for themselves, and they they might sprinkle, like once they have so much money, they might sprinkle it into some other ideas and do a couple of, like, oh, I'm going to give some money to blah, blah, blah. But it's never at the abundance. That's why I think we have these people who are billionaires. I really
100%,
do.
100%. The idea is that the private sector should fund a lot of things, charitable, even some healthcare and childcare and all those kinds of things, versus the government funding, those things, and that it's better done that way. And sort of along the lines of personal responsibility is the less taxes you pay, the more say you have in how your money is spent, right? For example, if I pay my taxes right now, I'm not loving the way those tax dollars are being spent.
Right. Well, you have no say in it, right?
But we don't really have a say. Once it goes, and other people are deciding, and that's whatever. It is what it is. But I believe that's the idea is, you keep more of your money, businesses keep more of their money, and then private sector decides where that should go.
But in the history of this happening, it has never worked. And that's not a lie. The trickle-down theory has never actually worked, which is why we do have billionaires. There would be no billionaires if they were of so much giving of their excess of monies to help build and create new jobs and stuff. But what they do is they spread it amongst their friends. Right. Or their stockholders or their shareholders, I should say, They
were truly sharing and trickling down, their employees would not be on welfare.
Minimum wage would be easily $30 an hour.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You have the Walton family, right? Multi billionaires, and one of the biggest retailers on the planet, and their workers can't afford life, right? But here they are living high on the hog, so they are not espousing or living the.
You tell people who the Waltons, the Walgreens, right?
Walmart.
They own Walmart, right? Yeah. One of those W's, right? They own Walmart.
That's just one example of it doesn't trickle down. They keep it for themselves, and they create family trusts and all kinds of things.
Hey, I wish it worked. I would love the idea that Amazon, Jeff Bezos, had so much money that he was actually paying his Amazon drivers enough money so that these people could have medical care and have, you know what I mean? It would be great if that actually worked, because then we'd all be working a livable wage.
Right.
But isn't it interesting how we've been told, how we've been taught not to make that connection? So interesting.
And no one is saying put yourself in the poorhouse, right? You do not have to go and live in a hut on a mountain with one pair of shoes. You know what I mean? You can still have your yacht, bro. You can still, have your crazy ass wedding in Italy or whatever it is.
That was so funny.
Right? But you don't have to hoard it. They have more money than they could ever possibly spend. They really could not.
Well, that is a weird part of what I hate about the wealth in the United States. I mean, I guess it's around the world, but because I always think about Saudi Arabia, whatever, but that's all about being in control, right? It's a different kind of power if it's all about money. Right. It's not authentic power. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you know what I mean? It's not real power.
It's not. And not to put too fine a point on it, but you have more money than God, but you're still up there kissing Donald Trump's ass. Yep. So how powerful are you?
Yep.
You have what they call fuck you money. You don't ever have to deal with any of this ever, but you choose to go and kiss the ring. It's weird.
Because it's a fake kind of power, right? Because to me, real power, and people are gonna we'll have 2 viewers after this, but real power are people that walk with such brilliance that I think Barack Obama has a lot of power. I think Robert Redford, may he rest in sweet peace, a lot of power, people who are so respected, I don't care what you feel about Jane Fonda, tons of power. you know?
People who are solid in themselves, who walk their talk and don't hurt other people.
I'll even say people, and of course, I feel like I'm only naming liberal, but like I think about even like Warren Buffett, or I'm trying to think of other people who have power that might be, he's not conservative, but he has a lot of money. Mark Cuban is also more on the left. So all the good people are on the left. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a Republican or a conservative that I think yields a lot of kind of power because they're a good, I can name one. I know you're going to disagree. May he rest in peace. But John McCain was, I know, but I'm just saying he had honor and dignity, whether you agreed with him or not. I know, but he died.
I know. And he also brought us Sarah Palin.
I know, but that's when he lost some power. But
that's why I said had.
Okay, had. Right. I'm struggling here.
I know. He is a name that popped up for me too. He is a name that popped up for me too. But
you refused to say it. You were like, wait. I just want to tell everyone the other day that I don't think we were on screen. No, because I didn't leave it in. But you were like, how bad is it that I wish Cheney was back? I remember it's like, I wanted to capture that moment. You actually said that. Dick Cheney. Yeah. Who we love. But that's how bad we're at right now, that Andrea is wishing we had the problems of the Bush-Cheney era. Yeah, look at, she won't even admit it.
I know. I will not repeat.
So it's just a tough time. I think that it's hard for people to understand that they're more to the middle than not. That's kind of what we were saying. We said most people think they're Republicans. But
I'm going to say, here's what I personally believe. I believe that the United States is a center-right country. So mostly center, but like just to the right, not like too far over, but a fairly conservative country. You may disagree, and I'm sure a lot of other people will too. I also happen to believe that the Democratic Party is a center-right party. And I think the Republican Party veers in between like conservative and reactionary. At least I'm going to say for most of our lifetime, that's where I believe they lived. Mm-hmm. Now it's something completely different. But so when I say that I believe most people are not Republican, number one, it's a fact, borne out by the numbers. But number two, it's based on that. Like I said, I think the United States is center right, and I believe that the Democratic Party is primarily a center right party.
Yeah, I mean, I know you want me to fight with you. I'm not going to fight with you on that. Because I've always called myself a conservative Democrat. So I'm not going to, I've always, like, that's where you and I have had our battles. I've always been.
I'm like over there in radical territory.
Yeah. She's in Lululand. Right. Like, and that's cool. I think if I have to jump on a bandwagon, I'm certainly not going that way.
Yeah.
But even like, and people will freak out. Like people think like, oh, Barack Obama is so liberal. No, he's not. Neither was definitely Hillary Clinton was not, So that is not an off basis analogy or whatever you just said, definition, I should say. I just think more people think that they are Republican or Trump people. I know people going to be mad, but Trump is not even a Republican when it comes right down to it. He's just doing what he's doing for money. Yeah. And, like even the emollients clause, is that how you say it? Emollients clause? The clause that says that when you're president, you cannot be taking money and making money off of the presidency. I think that's what that
I think it's emoluments, but I could be wrong.
Emoluments?
Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know.
Whatever it is, I'll put it down at the bottom. But he has become a billionaire while being in office.
He's selling like coins and shit and Bibles.
I just want to put this in perspective. Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm.
Yeah.
To be in office. And yet everyone's okay with Donald Trump doing what he's doing as far as making money off of the presidency, which is incredible.
I believe that a lot of people believe they are Republican or whatever because Republicans are better at marketing and scaring people. And so you create some big scary thing that's like, oh, the radical left, blah, 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 you know, death panels, right? Remember that whole thing?
Yeah,
death panels.
I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say it's something different. I think they believe that being a Republican makes you closer to God.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think people,
yeah.
right. And, you know, because if we go into the whole conversation of pro-choice and pro-life, and they think they're saving the babies, and they can't have any other concept, like they can't have any other thought process. And there's this whole idea that to be Republican means to be closer to God and Christianity or whatever you believe in. And that way it makes you a better person. You know, and then when you say things to people like pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, that sounds amazing. Like, yeah, I don't want to have to, you know, I'm doing everything on my own and I'm struggling and I'm having a hard time. Why do I have to help somebody else who's lazy or stealing from us? Or, you know, I had a conversation the other day, and I was going to find a way to bring this up about SNAP benefits. Like you would think that the right, if we're talking about Christianity and we're talking about people on the right believing in no government interference and blah, 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 you would think that those would be the least amount of people that are taking from our government, right? 37% of white people are the people who take SNAP benefits and welfare in this country. I guess they only call it SNAP now. They don't call it welfare.
Yeah.
26% of Black people use SNAP benefits. And 17% of Hispanic people use, and there's other statistics, but let me just say this. People who are not eligible, just to get this right, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for SNAP benefits at all. DACA recipients, not eligible for SNAP benefits or welfare of any kind. Temporary visa holders, not able to at all get SNAP benefits. So I think it's really important for people to know that. And that statistic comes from the Global Statistics and the SNAP Center organization themselves. The other thing I want to point out that has nothing to do with anything, I just want to point out some countries I'm going to point out all the countries that have people who have overstayed their visas. I want you to, and none of these people are really afraid of ICE. I want you to see if you can figure out what the through line might be. The United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Ireland, Sweden, Poland, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada's not on the list, but they, because of the way in which they can just walk over the border or whatever, you know what I mean? None of these people have, not these people, but these countries have people who have come by visa to this country and have overstayed. And I've spoken to about 5 different people from 5 different of these countries. None of them worried at all about ICE. I wonder why. I wonder what that would be. What's the common theme?
Curious. Yeah. You know, visa overstays are I believe, you know, it's at least equivalent to people crossing the border, you know.
Percentage-wise, it's a little bit lower, but the difference is, and this is where we get into this, like, you know, your Christianity, your heart. Are you, let me see, I wrote it down. You know what, I'll just go with it. Do we want to help people who are leaving a murderous country or a pained country or an economically, you know, disadvantaged country, or people who are trying to have a better life? Do we want to help people have a better life? Or are we just more interested in being mean and cruel to brown and Black folk? Because I think we know what the answer is. Like, I'm not being very Christian if I don't want to help the people who are struggling. People come to this country over the border. They save whatever money they can. They go to a coyote. A coyote is the person who helps bring them over here. And I don't mean help in a good way. I mean in a bad way. They take all their monies. They dump them in the United States after walking them through. And these people have nothing and they come from nothing. Isn't that the whole, like, let me help people who are struggling.
Well, talk about pulling yourself up by your bootstraps.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, but like, there you will not find more dedicated, harder workers, people who are willing to literally walk through fire to be here and contribute not only to this country, but yes, to their family back home. Family values. Hello, that's the whole reason they come.
It's so weird.
You know?
You would think that would be the Republican Party who would be like, let me help my fellow human being because it's Christ-like, it's Jesus-like, but it's not any of that. It's racism. Well,
you would think that you actually believed they were like real Christians. And I'm sure, okay, we're going to lose all the watchers, you know what I mean? But like, you can talk about Christianity and your Bible verses and your this and your that all you want. But like, I literally don't care. If you're not walking the talk, shut the fuck up.
It's so true. And it's funny you say we're then we'll just be having these conversations on our own. Like, it's okay.
It's just you and me hanging out.
This is what we talk about.
This is what we do.
This is really what we talk about. Like, we don't usually do it face to face, although sometimes, but it's really funny. Like, we really do. Like, and again, I'm not hating on any religion. I just don't know where along the way. I mean, I do know where it happened, but this separation between church and state, like, and how we've just kind of infused all of that into our politics so easily now. And again, it's the contradiction. You would think that Republicans would be the ones who would want to fix the immigration situation and go after corporations who are allowing people to work these jobs under the table. Right? Imagine if there were no jobs. If there were no jobs for people to come here for, they wouldn't come here. Yeah.
Well, this makes me think of the one thing that we didn't talk about when we talked about the different ideologies and the political spectrum and all of that, which is sort of the foundation upon which all of this is built that permeates wherever you are on that spectrum. Racism.
It's always going to be racism.
It's always going to be racism. This country was literally founded on the backs of human beings who were seen as property in the midst of genociding the human beings that already lived here.
And I'm going to say something. I didn't come up with this verse. Somebody put it on TikTok. I wish I knew his name because I didn't realize we would come up with this. But if I say racism and you hear white people, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. You know, because that's what happens. People hear the word racism and they get all offended, and it's like, so
racism. I'm tired of hearing about that. Right? Okay, then I guess you don't want to deal with the problem. You don't want to deal with the problem if you cannot face it head on, admit it, and figure out how do we move forward.
Yeah. And think about that too. If you're not racist for real, then why can't you just hear it, see the problem, and want to fix it?
Right.
Like, why do you get so offended? People who get offended tend to actually be part of the problem. Like, they tend, like, whatever it is, right? When you see a kid, I didn't steal it. I didn't steal no gum. I didn't do it. All of a sudden you're like, that child stole the gum. That little kid stole the gum. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's kind of the same thing. Wow, we were all over the place today, but I think that was good because that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, that is how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, everyone, thank you for listening. We appreciate you being here. And keep sending your comments. Please be kind and nice. And or not. It's okay because I have someone deleting them now. So no, it's totally fine because you know what? This is what we do. And I think it can only help people. So yeah. Remember, we have our Friday night shows at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can come and join in. It really is a relaxed, chill, kind of no politics, no religion kind of conversation between friends. And we'll even invite you up if you're cool and vetted. I have to vet people. But remember, at the end of the day, it really is all about the joy. Thank you, everyone. Bye. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for stopping by All About the Joy. Be better and stay beautiful, folks. Have a sweet day.